Tying up another wet fly from Ray Bergman's book Trout today. This is a fly called the Brunton's Fancy. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. If you look at the spelling, I don't know if it's Brunton or Brunton. Brunton, I don't know. But this is the Brunton's Fancy. Kind of reminds me of a woolly worm. One of the first flies I ever tied years ago was a woolly worm. It had just a red yarn tag tail. It had the Peacock Herl body and just a palmered hackle similar to this. This uses a badgered hackle, but it's very similar. Quick little fly. That's the Brunton's Fancy. I'll get started tying. So I'm going to start the Brunton's Fancy with my hook on the vise. This is a Mustad 33.99 and a size 6. You barb the hook. There is just a Peacock Herl body on this, so I don't have to worry about or be concerned about darkening up any floss. I'm going to start with a Danville 70 denier in black. This is my thread for this. Actually, I'm going to use it throughout the whole thing. I don't have to concern myself with changing threads. Some wax on my thread. I'm going to attach the thread about an eye length behind the eye of the hook. There is no tip on the Brunton's Fancy. There is a tail, and I'm using some goose quill for the tail on this. This is some red goose quill. I'm going to take a slip from each feather, a left and a right. Make certain that I've got my tips even first. With those even, I'll check the width. I think the one on the right side here is just one barb wider than the other one. So I will take that out. I only need these to be maybe 4 or 5 barbs in thickness. I'm going to tie that in so it's basically from behind the eye of the hook to the bend. I like them a little bit long. My tips are off just a little bit there. I'll slide those a little bit and get those evened up. I'm going to tie that in. Advancing my thread rearward down to the end of the shank. That gets the tail tied in. Trim that the length of the body. The hackle on this is a palmered silver badger hackle. I have a nice badger saddle right here that has some hackles down here near the bottom that tend to be thinner and longer that will work just fine for this. I'm going to tie this in by the tip. I'm going to stroke all of those barbs out so that they are sticking out more. Then I'll tie this in. Securing that in, I'll leave that hackle sitting behind. The body is just some Peacock Herl. I'm using, because of the size hook, I'm using some of these barbs, or I should say Peacock Herls, that are a little fuller. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get all these together, and then I'm going to pull away the more delicate tips right here. You don't need those. I'll tie this in so it's the length of the body or maybe a little bit less. I want to try and not get any of these barbs caught in there from the hackle. So I'll get that tied in. secured with a few wraps. And then I'll start wrapping forward, collecting the rest of that tail and the peacock curl down along the hook shank. It's kind of an underbody. Advance my thread forward to the end of the body. Now I will apply the peacock curl and then palmer that hackle forward to create the body and the rest of the Brunton's Fancy. I often like on flies like this to put at least one wrap of that hackle, if I have the length, right up front to just give it a little bit more of a broader face. You don't have to. That's just me. Now I'm going to fold all this back. Starting behind the eye of the hook, I'm going to shape the head here. Kind of cleaning that up a little bit. Just running this backwards over the hackles, and again, just shaping a little bit of a head. Don't need much on this. I can pop away that extra hackle there. And then I'll flatten my thread here. Fluff out some of those. And I'll get a whip finish in. Get some fly tight head cement on there to soak down into the thread wraps. And then I'll come back and I'll put a couple layers of a clear lacquer on there, as well as a top layer of black lacquer. Separate that tail a little bit there. And there you go. That is the Brunton's Fancy. Kind of like a black gnat with a tail on it. Actually, even kind of reminds me of just a woolly worm. So there you have it. That's a Brunton's Fancy. Thanks for watching today. Thank you for joining me at the Vise today. I hope you learned a new pattern, at least a tip or trick here and there. If you'd like to help Dress Irons, you can like, comment, share, subscribe, all those wonderful things for the video. You can also head out to dressedirons.com where you can buy flies, tools, stickers, and merch, or you can join a growing community over on Locals at the Dressed Irons Fly Tying Guild. You can also donate to Dressed Irons if you want through the link at the bottom of the description. I thank everybody for their ongoing support, as it really does help the creation of these videos. But what's important is to remember, only fly tying. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.